Hey everyone, Reverend Jim Keat here, digital minister at the Riverside Church. This is the Word Made Fresh. Three things before we dive in. First, I'm going on a run, obviously, because I'm training for a marathon this June. So why not start training 6 months early, right? Okay, number two, I saw Star Wars. Last week I said, I hadn't seen it yet, made a whole video about Star Wars. I saw it, don't worry, no spoilers, but in a future video, maybe we'll dive in a bit more on that. And third, this week's text is John 1, which is one of my favorite texts ever. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, that one. Now, I made a video about 1.5 years ago all about that text, so I'm just gonna play that for you, and then we'll talk after you watch it and after my run, okay? Here we go. On this episode of Church Talk, wait, what's my line? Before this episode of Church Talk officially begins, we need to take a test. How many passes does the team in white make?
Go!
The answer is 13. But did you see the moonwalking bear?
Go!
Like all these energy that make me alive.
God is everywhere. Because just look around.
You have to believe that he exists in order to know that he is within you.
Hey, I don't think God is around anywhere because I don't believe in God.
In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The Word was with God in the beginning. Through the Word, everything was made. In this Word is life, and that life is the light of all people. The Word was in the world, and though the world was made through the world did not recognize it. And the Word became flesh and made its dwelling among us. The Word was in the world, but the world did not recognize it. So where is God? Well, according to this poetic opening to the Gospel of John, that answer is easy. God is here. God isn't up in some spaceship called heaven, but God is here dwelling among us. The Word made flesh, the ground of being, the divine in the daily, the sacred in the midst of the mundane. Sometimes it's easy to focus on the wrong thing and miss what's been here the entire time. Because when you start looking for God everywhere, you'll begin to find God everywhere.
Well, I believe that God is everywhere.
Like over and outside you. Yeah, I don't know how else to describe it.
Everything that grows and has life is God.
God is everywhere. He's watching what we do at all times. And he's not happy. And he's not happy.
Well, where is he?
This whole universe, this whole thing that we call the universe, God is there. Yeah.
There were shepherds keeping watch over their fields by night when suddenly an angel appeared before them and said, "Fear not, for I bring you good tidings of great joy which shall be for all people. A Savior's born, and this is how you will recognize him. You'll find him wrapped in swaddling clothes and lying in a manger. And this is how you will recognize him." Where is God? Well, according to Luke's Christmas pageant, God is in the back of a barn, a vulnerable newborn baby. God is not in the seat of power or up in the tallest tower. God is here in the sounds and smells of new life. And just like the shepherds, when you start looking for God everywhere, you'll begin to find God everywhere.
Right, I think he's everywhere, always watching all of us, all the time.
Like Santa Claus?
Yeah, I can say that.
We don't really have to look anywhere. You just kind of have to look within yourself and basically God is with you whenever you call him.
I think God is everywhere. Wherever you go, if you love God, then you take God with you.
I like that. Let's put you in a pulpit with that one. That was great. What about you?
I
Where
agree.
is God?
Where she said. That's my wife, so whatever she says goes.
Two friends are headed home after an unexpected political defeat. You can have all the support in the world, and sometimes the system still ends up crucifying your candidate. And now, a few days after it all ended, it's all they can do to put one foot in front of the other as they make their way towards home, leaving their hope dead and buried behind them. But then they're joined by a stranger, and he begins walking alongside them. At first, they don't notice, or at least they think that he'll walk past them like everybody else. But he slows down and matches their pace. They begin to walk together. They begin to talk. Don't you know the things that have been happening the past few days, they ask? We thought that he was the one. And then they crucified him. As their journey continues, the two friends stop to rest for the night, and the stranger turns to say goodbye, but they don't want to see him go. No, you need to stop too. It's been a long trip, and it's going to be dark soon. And so the two friends and a stranger find a place to rest, to share a meal. Sitting at the table, the stranger takes the bread, breaks it, and gives thanks. And they recognized him. They turn to one another and then back to this no longer a stranger, but he's gone. They jump up and their no longer tired legs carry them back the way they came, and they return to their friends from the campaign to tell them that their hope is not dead, but their hope is alive. And they recognized him. So where is God? Well, in this encounter on the road to Emmaus, God is in the footsteps of a stranger. God is in the meal shared together at the table. God is in the hope that is resurrected inside of you. It's easy to become so focused on counting passes that we miss the moonwalking bear. Jesus is a moonwalking bear, and there are moonwalking bears everywhere. Because you'll find what you're looking for. And so if you're looking for death and sadness, well, then you're gonna see that pretty much everywhere. But if you're looking for love and hope and goodness and beauty and creativity, well, then you're gonna open your eyes and discover that it's all around you. When you start looking for God everywhere, you'll begin to find God everywhere.
Did you see the moonwalking bear?
Okay, so that was a good, let's see how far? 7.25. And what'd you think of the video? So I have a couple questions for you. First, where did you find God recently? Because if you look for God everywhere, you find God everywhere. So start looking, and then where did you find God? I found God in the waves on my run, because they happen constantly. They're just always there. And then just when you think you know how far they go a little further. Hey. And question number 2, what do you think of Church Talk? Church Talk is an old video series I had made, a couple summers ago at Riverside. It's kind of like if Casey Neistat went to seminary was my idea. And how would those kinds of videos turn out? Like sermons on YouTube. Ah! My shoes just got wet. Okay, what do you think of Church Talk? Should I bring it back? I mean, here's my idea. Word Made Fresh, this video would be like a weekly video Bible study. We're just looking at the text and talking about it. And Church Talk is, it's more of like a talk about church. Like less Bible verse specific and theology thematic, like a sermon-ish. What do you think? Leave a comment below. Where'd you find God? Should Church Talk come back? We'll see you next week with another episode of The Word Made Fresh. Oh, I won't be at the ocean anymore. At least not this ocean. I'll be at a different, well, the same ocean, but a different part of the ocean. Okay, I'll see you next week. Bye.